Excuse me.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Informed Makeup Mavens V-Review series. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my in-flight essentials that I'll be taking with me next week as I venture back down to my hometown Melbourne in Australia. It seems like I've been doing a hell of a lot of long distance travel lately, however all for good cause. So the first thing that is always in my in-flight bag, regardless of where I travel or regardless how short or long the flight is Dior Show's mascara. Now, I don't wear makeup on the plane. The purpose being is that I don't like my skin to get congested or irritated in the recycled cabin air. I use Dior Show when I'm just about to land, so in the last hour of the flight, I'll quickly freshen up my face and apply some mascara on to help wake me up. That having been said, brings me to some of my eye essentials, which include the color corrector from Bobbi Brown and the cream concealer from Bobbi Brown, and of course MAC's Shroom shadow, which is perfect for applying with your finger. And as you can see, the nifty little compact fits into the TSA regulated plastic baggies and so you can apply this just from your lash line to your crease, and as well as mix a little bit with your eye cream or moisturizer if you've got any handy, just to create a brightening effect for the under eye area to disguise the tiredness and fatigue. And of course, these, instead of carrying a foundation in my TSA regulated plastic baggie, I'll just apply a dab of these to where I need it and blend it out, and so it's quite lightweight and it's quite sheer and it looks really natural and it doesn't cake on tired skin. Something else to pick up the tired complexion, of course, is the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick, and I was lucky enough to win this earlier this year with the pretty powerful giveaway they had on Twitter. And although I had the full-size Shimmer Brick, this mini-size Shimmer Brick called Nectar, I think it's Nectar, yep, Nectar, is also great for helping to wake up the complexion as well. So these things can be used as eyeshadow as well as a blush when used all together. And that having been said, I pack my MAC blush brush in the short-handled form, which I prefer short handle to long handles because they're easier to maneuver and also carry around. So this brush here is the 129 SE brush, and so I can just pop that in one of the pockets in my handbag or my hand carry that I bring in the cabin. And then recently I've discovered this. It was launched initially in Australia before it got launched here this month, is Garnier's Roll-On Anti-Dark Circles roller ball with moisturizer. And so again, I'll apply this just before I land as well to just to actually make me look presentable for the immigration officials where I'm landing, or if I'm about to shoot off to a business meeting if I'm traveling domestically. This of course is a newbie to my in-flight regimen, which I discovered recently when I took a trip down to the Dermalogica Skin Lab in Soho and picked this up for 30% off. It's called Barrier Repair, so it's an anhydrous moisturizer which contains no water, and essentially you apply this over the skin and it helps to create and restore the barrier and protect it from irritants. And of course, flying in a plane for 24-25 hours, there's a lot of irritants that are going to be present in the recycled cabin air, not to mention the dryness of the air, and the depressurized conditions can also really stress out the skin, and especially if you have sensitive skin like me. It's really important to make sure that that barrier remains hydrated and intact. And so this is what I'm going to be using. And I have also been using this as well in my normal everyday life. Like recently I had a mild outbreak of the MMR rash from a vaccine that I had, and used this to help soothe the itchy patches that had developed along my face neckline and hairline. So this is really a good one to have, and it also works well as a lip balm as well. So when you're traveling and you are limited to a little plastic sandwich bag to carry your beauty goodies, this is definitely a perfect one that really helps you streamline. And one of my other liquids that are essential, aside from hand sanitizer, which I haven't got here, it's already packed, is the travel size La Vanilla, the healthy body butter, which is an all natural, organic and pure based lightweight body butter. And I use this as a hand cream because it's rapidly absorbed and it smells delicious. This one's actually vanilla coconut, one of my favorite scents in the whole world, and every time I use it, it makes me want to eat my hands, if that makes sense. So those are some of the things that I carry in flight, and luckily the powders such as blush, eyeshadow aren't actually counted in the TSA regulation for the cosmetics. Now, because they've actually decreased the amount of liquids you can take, and until now the advent of wipes has really revolutionized and streamlined what I carry in my hand carry in flight are wipes. Now, I used to take my full size face wash in flight and wash my face physically in the plane. Now, if you can imagine how small those bathrooms are, despite being in business or economy, they can get pretty crowded, and the sink isn't the most hygienic thing to be washing your face with at 30,000 feet in the air. But I've discovered wipes, and wipes have really helped me a lot, and so I'm not limited to actually going to the bathroom every few hours to clean my face. So in a 24-hour flight, I'll probably wipe or freshen my face about 6 to 7 times, just because I can feel it getting greasy because of the air. And Skin Iceland's glacial cleansing cloths are one of the most nourishing and wet face wipes I've ever come across on the market, and I recently used these a few weeks back when I traveled home to Australia and fell in love with how they really wet the face and really make it feel fresh. And then as soon as the water sort of evaporates but is still a little bit damper, then apply a moisturizer over it to really seal in the hydration there. And something else, although this isn't going to be in my hand carry, but I've sort of reviewed this one before, and I'm really a huge fan of Sampa, and I've just realized I've forgotten to put the rollerball out here. I always travel with my Sampa eye roller as well, which isn't, unlike the Garnier, is actually colorless, so that's handy to keep reapplying during a 24-hour flight or even a short distance flight, just to keep the eye area happy. But on landing, flying for 24 hours can actually really dehydrate the skin and really leave it looking blah and flaky. So it's really important to exfoliate when you hit the ground, and then slather on a really rich moisturizer. And this one, though I used it in wintertime, I bought another one so that I can actually take it with me and test drive it as a post-flight moisturizer to see how it will perform. So this is going to go into my check-in, unfortunately, because of the size. It's quite large and will probably take up my entire TSA baggie. But the Dream Cream actually has antioxidants in it, emollients, and plant botanicals to really help restore and nourish the skin, while also helping to restore the barrier, which is really important, as I said before, for sensitive skin mavens. And last but not least is my personalized Bobbi Brown eye palette. Now, this time that I'm going home, I'm going to actually be streamlining the amount of makeup. I used to carry 2 large cosmetics bags full of makeup every time I traveled, and now I'm just getting to the point where 2 large bags of makeup is just too much to carry and takes up too much room in my suitcase. So the advent of Bobbi Brown's personalized palettes are probably one of the best things for constantly traveling mavens. And so I've got a 3 palette here, and it contains Bahama Brown Shimmer Blush, a quad of eyeshadow of neutrals, and the black, which I can use as a eyeliner, and I prefer powder eyeliner, so this is perfect. And the coral, I think it is, pink coral blush, which I use over the apples of my cheeks. So again, I'll use this for the contouring in the hollows, and then this over the apples. And of course, I'll probably pack another bronzer, as a matte bronzer, so that I can use it to contour. So overall, these are just a few of my in-flight essentials that I take with me regularly.